So, I'm going to review the final volume of the Matt Fraction Hawkeye run, Rio Bravo. Now, most of you guys know that I've been reading this series since it started in trade, and it took a long time to get the final volume out because, well, obviously, you know, Fraction and Aja had been more or less, they've been kind of slow, but it was definitely worth the wait. I thought this was a very well done volume. I thought this was just a lot of fun, and it was just something, you know, the whole run, you know, the Matt Fraction's Hawkeye run is something that, you know, it's gonna go down as one of Marvel's best comics ever. Like, I haven't really read the Jeff Lemire run. I haven't read that, the all-new Hawkeye. I haven't managed to read that yet, but from what I'm told, it's actually really good. I also find it kind of funny that Jeff Lemire went from doing Green Arrow and now he's doing Marvel's Archer. Yeah. But yeah, with this, just right out the gate, this was awesome. The whole series was awesome. I would have to say that this was as good as Mark Waid's Daredevil, you know, just as good as Mark Waid's Daredevil. But yeah, let's talk about this. Let's talk about Hawkeye Rio Bravo. Now, this volume is talking about all the stuff that went, as in Volume 3. Volume 3 deals with all the stuff that went on in the issues that dealt with Kate Bishop's story, in her in L.A. In here, in the final volume, it not only wraps up those two stories, but also talks about what was going on between Clint Barton back at home, back home in that little apartment building, but also the arrival of his brother Barney Barton, who was known as Trickshot. And they didn't exactly leave on the best terms, but they do kind of have that whole, you're my brother, come here, let's hug it out. It's a great scene, all in all. Now, with this volume, there is some great humor in here. There's especially the opening issue of this volume it basically is a well, it's literally it's basically a Christmas special. It's a Christmas special that is it's kind of like a dream sequence / Christmas special of Clint Barton watching this Christmas special with these kids, and the whole story involves these people called the Winter Pet Friends, I think they're called, and one of the characters is called Kwanzaa Gator, and it is the most awesome thing ever. There's also a few, like, they all are focused around the winter time, but yeah, I don't want to say much, but I need more Kwanzaa Gator in my life. Yeah. We also find out in this volume of why the Tracksuit Mafia wants, you know, Clint's home. Why they want everyone moved out, why they want, you know, the building in general. And it's actually kind of like, you kind of just suspected that this was the whole motive all along, that the Tracksuit Mafia wanted they basically wanted they wanted the whole damn building because they were going to tear it down, and because they owned all the other buildings except that one. And it makes it very interesting because we also have the villain called the Clown in here. Now, the Clown is this just very, you know, he's a very interesting Hawkeye villain. And Hawkeye's never really had a big rogues gallery to begin with, so I thought it was cool that they, you know, Matt Fraction created this character. And it's kind of a mystery because he's almost like a slasher in a horror movie. He's just so meticulous, and he has like this dark sense of humor to him, and he has this weird code of honor to him. Well, in his own brain, in, you know, how he, you know, sets up everything. And it's a very just dark, you know, turn with him, especially in the murder we found out in Volume 2. And that's kind of one of the things that hurts, you know, the Hawkeye volumes in general, is that, you know, these volumes and the issues themselves took so long to, you know, produce and, you know, put out there, that, you know, sometimes you gotta really think back or just go back and read the volumes from previous time and then be like, oh, that's how it happened, you know, oh, now I remember. And no, you know, I don't mean any disrespect to Matt Fraction or David Aja. I mean, this is definitely worth the wait, but again, it kind of, you know, it on the same, you know, the same end of the spectrum, it does kind of hurt, you know, it does kind of hurt it at the same time. What else was there that I wanted to talk about? yeah, there is some other interesting things with this. This is the more serious, but there's still that kind of fun, adventure type story as well. There is that going for this comic as well. But since this is the final volume, this does get a little more darker, and we do find out that Clint Barton is deaf. Yeah, he's deaf. He's just a really good lip reader. Yeah. That is pretty... I thought that was pretty interesting that all this time, Clint Barton had been deaf, kind of. He'd been kind of deaf, but after what happens in this volume, we do discover that, yeah, he's now gone full deaf, but apparently that got fixed somewhere in either Avengers or All New Hawkeye, I'm told, apparently. So let me talk about, Barney Barton, his older brother. Barney in here, as we all know, was Trickshot, and they do bring up that he was part of Norman Osborn's second incarnation of the Dark Avengers. But however, like I said, Clint's more than willing to forget, and also, Clint stole a lot of money from Barney as well. And the two pretty much are not, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, Clint, for doing this to me. No, it's more like, missed you, bro, missed you too, come here, let's hug it out. And it's really interesting because, Barney at this point is, he's very downtrodden, but he's trying to keep his spirits up, and he's also trying to keep Clint's spirits up in this, very dark time. And Barney in here, even though, something does happen to him that leaves him, he does suffer a terrible injury in this comic. He does, power through it. He's not like, oh, shit, I'm broken, I can't, do anything. But no, he's more like, well, I'm gonna go kill these motherfuckers who wounded me. You wanna go help me? You wanna go help me? Sure, I could do, you wanna go help me, Clint? Yeah, let's do that. So Clint and Barney really do, it also has a very interesting end of how the two brothers kind of separate. It's kind of funny, but at the same time you're like, man, I think, Clint, you got the short end of the stick here, buddy. Yeah. This was just an amazing comic, and throughout all 4 volumes, now that they're all, out in trade, you can go out and pick them up and read them as one big story, because it does feel like it actually feels like one big, for the 22 issues this comic ran, it does feel like one big story arc that you can look at as like a 22 episodes to a show, and it does kind of end like a TV show. It really does feel like that, and we also get some really epic stuff with Kate Bishop. Not as much as like in Volume 3 that was all about her, but we do get to see her and Clint, why Kate stays with Clint Barton through, pretty much the thick of everything that he does. All the BS that he has done and all the self-pity, because you gotta remember, Clint was just he's a guy from the circus who's just a really good shot. That is it. And he's always felt like, why do the Avengers keep me around? I mean, yeah, they've had non-powered before, but you got one guy who's got like an armored suit, another with a super soldier serum. Why do they need a guy with a bow and arrow? I don't know. Oliver asks himself the same question sometimes. But yeah, this, like I said, this does, show why Kate Bishop stays with, Clint through thick and thin, even though they had that kind of quarrel back in Volume 3, but this really does come full circle. So all in all, this is just a really epic comic. If you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. Just, man, thank you, Matt Fraction, for such an awesome, ride through all of this. So anyway, guys, hope you all enjoyed this review, and yeah, you guys tell me, if you've read this comic, what did you guys think? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Just comment below, let me know, and I will see you guys later.